he's on 350 grand a week, and he's literally doing live streams on Twitter during a game. Like, it's embarrassing.
It's madness. Like, there's boys out there getting 350 grand a week, like, they're not even football.
So only one question card for me. The right team on Monday, the one on Saturday. My opinion is like the game of every
Yes, Zach, welcome back to the 12th man. Delighted to have you on. The Magic Man back, and they make a few more predictions as we come up to the end of the season. How you be keeping, Zach?
All good, guy. Yourself?
Aye, I'm trying to get by. You know what I mean? But a rough weekend there after a game on Sunday, but Friday. But I will. Still only are just Spurs fans. But here, we're going to start chatting about our Fulton Derby. We're going to be chatting with your club, Manchester United, as well. Sort of looking ahead now, the top 4, top 6 race is really heating up. Still for grabs. And we're going to be looking ahead to the final Champions League second leg games and the Europa League games as well on Thursday, including a big game for your team as well. So, Zach, a lot of build-up last week on our Fulton Derby. Seen it. We thought it was a big opportunity for Spurs to get that double done over Arsenal. Do you think they must have their best chance?
I would say so, especially with Aubameyang out as well. Like, it was a perfect opportunity for you to go and win it, but Mourinho just didn't set out from the start to try and win that game, I don't think.
Were you surprised at how Mourinho approached the game, or do you think it was just the same old stuff and maybe we got our hopes up that he was going to be a bit more attacking?
Well, like, because over the last couple of weeks, the way he's been playing, I was sort of expecting he's to go out in the front foot and play the way he's had been playing. But then when the match started, then I wasn't surprised then when I seen what was happening, because that's what he always does. But I was going on that match thinking, if they go out and attack Easons here, they could definitely get a better Arsenal, but he didn't go out and do it. Like, so I wasn't surprised then when it actually happened. Then, like, I was like, it's just typical Mourinho.
Do you know what? It just reminded me so much of everything we associate with Mourinho, that Arsenal were vulnerable going on to that game. Spurs was in good form. I know we talked about Arsenal's form. The second half of the season's been a bit better, but you still looked at them and thought, the game is there for Spurs, and just from the start, they never pressed them at all. Let them have the ball, and they played their way into the game. And down the left hand side, they really destroyed Spurs. And we talked about Bale coming on it. Bale was on there the attack, and he didn't really get that opportunity. And then you can't really expect him to track back. It's not that type of player. And then Dory gets absolutely roasted by Tierney, and it's not through. So, do you know what? If you're going to play that way, at least put the personnel on the pitch to do it. Play Sissoko. Maybe not bring Bale from the start. Maybe play Lamela from the start. I know Lamela got sent off. We'll chat about that. But, there was no real value in having Bale on there when you were going to set up that way, was there?
Well, you're not getting the best out of Bale when you're playing defensive football. Like, and it's the same with Kane and Son as well. if you are having them players on, they like to go forward and attack, like as you've seen under Pochettino. So if you're going to set out like that there, it's not going to suit the players, as you say, on the pitch to go out and do that. Like they should have had the likes of Sissoko one and maybe dropped and Dembele, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Dembele too just doesn't suit that game at all. The way they set up, you know, has the abilities on the ball, not running after the ball.
I didn't even really know he was playing, Gary, to be honest.
That's a few games now in a row against the big teams where Spurs have been very passive and they've sat off and they've lost the game doing that. You know what I mean? So they've went out with a wump. You know, they did finish the game strong, but it's too little, too late. And do you look at it now and think Spurs fans are at the end of their peril when Mourinho that they're not going to put up with this for much longer? You know, he's going to have to win something this year.
I think even winning the trophy, I still don't think he's going to be happy.
Yeah.
I think just in general, I just think if he's won the Capital One Cup, or I don't think it's going to be enough. Like I think everybody ideally wants to be in the Champions League, and like away, like Arsenal fans go on like when they won the FA Cup, they with heck out as a big season, and not as big as it used to be. And I think everybody's main goal now is just to get into Europe, like, and obviously like winning trophies is like you want to win trophies, but I think Spurs fans would rather be in the Champions League than winning the Capital One Cup, like.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's it. You want to be in Europe, but you know, one on a Capital One Cup shouldn't cover over everything. If they do, if they did sit in the final, they've got a chance because it's a one-off game. But you know, if they finish 7 for 8 in the table, then that's not good enough. It's going to, as you say, I think he's going to have to win the Europa League or finish in the top 4. You know, I think that the cup's a bonus. Don't get me wrong; if the fans would love it, but I think the fans really want to be in Europe as well. So it's an interesting. Well, do you think that City don't win the Capital One Cup and they finish 6th or 7th in the league? Do you think it will be for them in the summer? Do you think Spurs would change?
No, I think because it'd be too dear to get rid of. Like, wouldn't they? Or
People said that before, right? And I totally get what they're saying, right? But do you not think that it would have cost them more if they keep backing him when they don't really have any belief that it's going to be he's the right man?
It'll all depend on like what way they want to work it in the summer. If they don't back him in the summer, that'll tell you if he's failing by Christmas. They'll get rid of him at Christmas next year, guy. But I don't think he'll get back in the summer. He didn't get back with United that summer, and then that was had to him, and like it fell apart then, like, and he was let go at Christmas.
Arsenal talk about a criticism throughout the season and stuff, and probably within the game as second favourites and 7 points behind Spurs. You'd have watched that game and you'd have wondered how they're 7 points behind Spurs going that game. You know, Arsenal looked like the team that were sort of fighting for the top 4, and you just wonder what's going on with Arsenal. They're capable of putting on performances like that, but then they just can't. It goes from there's no consistency in their performances, and even seen towards the end, you know, they could have dropped points when it would have been criminal if they had lost. If they had lost 10 points, wouldn't it?
No, definitely. That's been Arsenal even from advance. I think I just think they're always like on their day they can go out and beat anybody, but like when it's over a course of the season, then they just never really. I never really worry about Arsenal. Like they beat us back in November, and like it was like they won the Champions League, and then now you look at the league table, like, and I think as you say they can on their day beat anybody, but. It's the consistency you need over a full season. It's just Arsenal. I think they have a weak mentality, Arsenal.
There's a referee saying, shocking performance from Spurs, question of who do we bring in. That's a big one. There's no one out there that you think can. I think Spurs will be looking down that road of getting a manager with a reputation. I think that's why they got Mourinho on. But I'm just wondering now, you know, I had an interesting chat last night with a Liverpool fan. He was saying, you know, what if Kane leaves in the summer? Hey, there's every possibility that Kane might want to leave, but it could be difficult to get him out. But I think that'll be the big question mark. If Kane was to go for big money, I think that's when you bring in a young manager and start a rebuild. You use that money to invest in younger players and you go again. But I don't think Spurs will be looking to do that. I still think there's a lot of players there that have a lot to offer. You've seen in the last 20 months, you know, when they're allowed to play, they're a lot better. They watch, they've got quality, they created chances. You've seen it over the last few weeks against West Ham as well, 2-0 down, and then they went for it. Do you know, at the start of the season, Zach, it was the other way about. Spurs were starting games strong, and then they were trying to sit on a 1-0 lead, and they were getting caught at the end. Now it's the other way about. They're starting games negatively, and then they're finishing strong. So, Mourinho's tactics are just not working. Zach, you know, I think I put a post up on Sunday. Everybody can see it. I just don't know why he can't see it. Do you think that he's just too stubborn to change?
But like that's what I'm saying. Like no, like you looked at them couple of matches where he's were going out and like scoring like free flowing football, scoring goals and all. But then I just don't know why any. Like I thought when he took that break out of management, he would have been like, right, I have to change my philosophy and all. And you can see now that it's going back to the Mourinho. He's starting to get salty and all. Like he was saying, like for a team that scored 100 goals, I wouldn't call that negative and all. And that's the type of things he was saying at Man United. And that's where it was rattling the fans because when he finished second with United, he was saying, "Oh, that's the best thing I've ever done in my managerial career."
The fans aren't blind, Zach. That's the thing. Right? The fans aren't blind. They watch it every week.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's why. No, I've seen Mourinho too long now. Not too flick. I think he's finished time.
As Arsenal's process moving, but just slowly than everyone expected. Do you think that they could build on that performance now? Do you think that they can finish the season strong, possibly win the Europa League, and then maybe push on next year again? Or do you think that it's still going to be a work in progress? It's going to take a lot of time.
I think it's still going to be a work in progress, but I actually do think they have a good chance for the Europa League. I think they could go well in that there because I think now they're in now he's at the quarter final. And then it goes down to the draws. Then, as you say, like if they can just get the draws in their favour, now the final, and then as you say, Arsenal can beat anybody on their day, so they do have a chance of winning that.
Do you think that will concern Arsenal fans that they were so good for so long that game, and then they could have dropped points at the end? You know, against 10 men at the end, they were really on the ropes. Do you think that was just nervousness and vulnerability, and that the lack of experience in the team could come back to bite them in a big game at the end of the season? You know, if they got to a Champions League final or a Europa League final, or even a semi-final, and it came to that crunch time at the end of the game, they've got mistakes on them. You know, they were giving away silly free kicks at the end of the game, and you know they panicked. You know, I don't think Spurs obviously did play a bit better, but I think Arsenal allowed them back into the game too. They gave him. You seen Arteta; he was absolutely raging on the touchline. You know, players doing silly things and making silly mistakes. So, do you think that just that lack of experience and the mistakes they've got on them could come back to haunt them at the end of the season?
I can sort of see similarities with Arsenal and United. It's like they do struggle. They like you show that real authority, like go and grab the game by the neck, like, and that's what it's sort of the same as United. United like with Solskjaer, especially like we're just struggling. They like really just like get them games won without having to panic towards the end of the match. Like we're going to nearly the end of every match now, hoping that we can get a result. Like, and Arsenal's the same. That's the way I see it. Like I think they're just struggling. They finish out games like.
Spurs 4 points out of Arsenal now. Do you think they'll finish above them in the league? Do you think Arsenal could turn it around now in the last 9 games or so?
I would have to see who they all have left to play, but I think Arsenal's main focus is really and Spurs as well is going to be on the Europa League. I think that's what the whole season's going towards. I don't think they're like Arsenal definitely. They played a strong side against Houston because that was a derby, obviously, but I think if they're still in that Europa League, they'll be playing a weak side throughout the league, like, because there's no chance of Arsenal or Spurs getting top 4. I don't think now, like.
Yeah. We'll get on that a wee bit later on in the show. I was just going to say, just last question on Mourinho before we move on. Do you think that I sort of touched on it before, but as we said, you still think he'll be manager next year no matter what because they won't sack him?
I think he'll definitely, no matter what, if he doesn't win a trophy or if he doesn't get, I still think he'll be managing Spurs next season until Christmas at least, anyway.
Nah, right. Well, I think that Spurs won't make a decision in the summer because I think they'll, you know, for the sake of a few million, they'll have to pull the plug because I mean you can't put up this next year. The fans will be back in the ground too. That'll make it harder. You know, will they watch that football every week? I think fans can watch. I think fans can put up with that football if they're getting results, but they haven't been getting results recently. And I'm looking at it now, and I think the way that
the players playing for Mourinho.
See, this is it. I think they've lost about a. See, 6 months ago, or 4 or 5 months ago, I think Spurs probably could have done that system a bit better. I think the players have lost touch with that style of system that Mourinho's employing. You know, they didn't look like they enjoyed it at all. When Spurs played Man City back in the first half of the season and they played Arsenal, they looked like a well-drilled team that were maybe not enjoying it, but they stuck to Mourinho's ways of playing. I think you've seen in the big games recently that Spurs maybe the fact the players aren't behind that way of playing anymore. And I think when you see them against the other teams, when they do play a bit more on the front foot, they look like a different team. And as I said, I just looking at the table. They're not that far behind in the top four. All these drop points, they really should have been in the top four. And I think the board will shift a lot of blame on Mourinho if they don't make it. And that'll be the big thing in the summer. And the fact there's rumours of a lot of teams not going to be able to have a lot of money to spend. So he's going to have to work with what he has there. And I'm not sure he's getting the best out of most of them players. So it will be an interesting summer if they don't win. There is a little footage saying he has to go now, something not right. Definitely, I agree. I think that there's something going on behind the scenes as well. Where you seen Bale getting subbed off after 16 months, he didn't look happy, and then before he actually moved on, that goal from Lamela, Zach, one of the best in the Premier League history. Would you put it up there?
It was a good finish. One of the best in history. Well, there's been a few rockets.
I think it's one of them ones where it's never been done before in the Premier League. It's one of them ones you've never really. It's a technique and how difficult it is to do. Would you put it up there with the best?
I know it was a quality finish, but just in saying that, I was watching the podcast on Friday with Newsons and the Arsenal fans, and I mind Stephen saying, like, these were talking about Lamela, and I mind him saying, sure, oh, he's just remembered for that Rabona goal he scored again in the Europa League or something, they were saying. And then it came back to haunt him, and it sort of with that. And when I seen that one, then I was like, madness, like, you couldn't write that there.
You know what? See the game in general, Lamela getting sent off. It was Lamela's Spurs career one game. He's got so much quality to offer. Injuries has been a big factor. He's consistency, and he got that act. It's the first time he's been sent off, but I don't know how, because he does tread the line. He does show a lot of passion, and he's a type of player that can go over the edge, and sometimes that's a good thing. But the 2 yellow cards he got on Sunday were absolutely stupid. And then for all Arsenal that play well, the goal they scored was a deflection, very fortunate. And then the penalty I thought was never a penalty. I'm not going to sit here and complain. I'm not going to complain about VAR and referees, because they've been so bad this year that it affects every single team. And we've seen last week or a week ago before that, the Spurs got a decision against Fulham, which was ridiculous with a handball. So it does go for you and does swing for you in roundabouts, but for me it wasn't a penalty. What do you think?
From a neutral standpoint, Nick, I actually did think it was a penalty. I did think it was a penalty.
I just thought that his momentum carried him. Actually, like I said, had Sanchez, and it's one of them ones. I know Sanchez dives in, but I think it's one of them ones where I think it was Darren McGallagher on Sky Sports yesterday, and he usually does like up for the refs. He said it's one of them ones where he didn't think it was a penalty. He said it's a glitch in the system that because it's not a clear and obvious error, the VAR can't really get involved, and that's something that they need to look at in the summer. But there you go. I've seen a lot of pundits say they didn't think it was a penalty. Some do think it was a subjective one, but for me, I've seen worse decisions. To be honest, I have seen worse decisions.
No, I did think it was a penalty, and then for like Mourinho, they just sort of come out and blame the referee. I was just like more responsibility for Spurs, and forget about the penalty. They dominated the game. They should have been 3 or 4 out of sight in the first half. And then the first question he was asked, he was all, "Are you going to question?" I don't know what I forget what referee was actually refereeing. Oliver. And he started chatting about him, and I was like that's just typical Mourinho. He normally comes out when he starts banging it on the actual Spurs players in that, but I think he's smart and good enough now to know he can't throw the players on the bus, because that's what he done at United, and that's why he lost the dressing room, because he was nearly Luke Shaw, Martial. No, he just was not he was throwing them boys on the bus and that's definitely why his time was up,
Do we give Lamela a new contract? I wouldn't personally. I think it's time to move him on. He's been here a long time, and his injury record. Don't get me wrong, I think he's got quality, and he always has. I've always been a fan of him. But I do think it's the right time to move him on in the summer. Last thing I was going to say, I think, was last 20 months Spurs come on it, and then they could have got a result at the end. And I think that's more what the fans were raising about, that Marino come out and chat about a referee decision, and yes, I didn't agree with it, but in live play I can see why the referee gave it. I think I'm more concerned about the VAR process, that you need to sort that out in the summer, because we have seen a lot of them where not a clear and obvious error to overturn. You need to sort that out. At the end of the day, if you think it's not a penalty, you have to re-referee it. There's too much protection for the referees, but as you say, the fans he comes out right away and chats about the referee. we want to know about the performance. We're more concerned about the performance in the game, and that's right what you're saying. We've seen the same things at United. Question from Dean Hegarty here, Zach. What's your thoughts on the offside rule, lads? We've seen that injury to the keeper last night could have been a lot worse. Do you want to answer that one, Zach?
You see, well, it just depends. It depends how clear, if they are an on goal and they have a chance, I think you have to let it go in. No, but if it's one where it's they're not going to score from it anyway, where it's in front of the attackers, I think you can then let it sit. But when I don't know, but that there injury happened last night, and that was obviously duty out there, but I genuinely don't know what way I think the offside rule. I just think if you're offside, you're offside. If the VAR, it'd be good if the VAR could have they could signal the referee and say that was offside, and then they could just blow it up straight away instead of having to wait. They should be having a microphone way the people that's in VAR. They tell them, oh no, I was offside, so just cut it there. You know
what? It's a great question, thing. It's a great question because I thought I've been thinking this for the last few weeks that eventually there was going to be an incident where there was somebody offside and they let it run on and somebody was going to get injured, and it just happened to be a very serious injury. That it was a head injury. Luckily, I think Nuno came out after the game last night and said the player was conscious and he wasn't. It wasn't as bad as first feared. It looked really bad on the pitch. Sky Sports didn't show a replay of it. It was nowhere near as bad as the Jimenez one where he had to go and get surgery and stuff. But there was always going to be a case where somebody was going to get injured. I thought it was going to be more likely to be a hamstring injury or something. A player running free, pulled up or something. Do you know what, Zach? You do make a good point. It wasn't. There was only a couple of seconds between the referee letting it go on and happening. It wasn't it was on and on and on. But Salah was off. It was a clear offside, and I think that is an issue now that where it is clear and obvious that the player is offside, they're going to have to communicate that to the referee and stop it. It's one of them ones where if the player is injured last night, no one's talking about it.
Exactly. That's true.
Imagine the player got injured, but Salah was onside and it was blew up for offside. Then you've got a massive situation. So they are trying to let it run on, but it is something in the summer I think they need to work on it. If it is so obvious that Salah was offside, and he was about a yard offside, it wasn't like it was miles offside, but in live play it looked offside. And then you seen the first replay, the linesman David Fair was in a great position, and the flag went up straight away. Do you know what I mean? As soon as the ball went on the net, the referee blew the whistle, so the linesman had the flag up right away. So definitely great question, Dean. I do think it is something that's going to be looked at in the summer. They've emailed all the clubs. I don't know if you've seen this week about the VAR, how they can improve it. So it is good that at least they are looking at the potential problems, and there's no doubt about it. There's a lot of people that wanted VAR now you're turned against it. And they think it would be better with it. To go back to the old ways because it's made officiating worse. The officials are a problem. They're not the standard isn't great, but the fact it's a lot harder to accept when you see multiple replays of it and the referee doesn't get stuck with. And I think that's the problem the fans have with it. So great question, Dean. Thanks for that. Now, Zach, going to move on to your team. Man United, coming up to the crunch time of the season. Good one on Sunday. It wasn't a great game. I think West Ham seemed like the FA Cup game. West Ham made it very, very difficult. Again, I think Moyes missed an opportunity. I know United are a better team than West Ham, but you see when West Ham had to go at the end, caused a few problems. West Ham for me is not going to get into the top four playing like that. They're going to have to play in the front foot. And you know what? Moyes is in a position where he's getting the Hundy loose. If they finish 6th or 7th, that's a great season for them. He's got a potential now. He's got 10 games. They try and push for the top four. I don't see why he doesn't just go for it. But United got the one. OG, but they did miss a few chances in the game. I think going on there, a lot of people said United, if they want, it should confirm a top four place. Do you think now that top four place is secure?
Definitely 100%. Well, I think that I couldn't see us slipping up. I definitely couldn't see us slipping up now. I was shocked that Moyes didn't come and play because I think the way we're playing at the minute as well, we're very fragile at the minute, and I think if they had a game and went for it, they could have caused us a lot more problems than they did. At first half, I was absolutely shocking to watch it, and then I was just thinking teams are so afraid now when they play Man United that they have to sit they can't go out and play football because they know they will be ripped apart in the counter attack. And it's just frustrating now for me as a United fan because it's every team we play now is just completely low block. It's no team will come out even Man City or even starting to get fear to come out and play football against us because it is obviously our strongest play, like, it's counter attack football. But I just hated everything about that match on Sunday. It was for a United fan. I just hated watching it.
They needed that goal. It looked like one of them games that was at half time where you looked at it and you thought, is this going to be an hour game where they draw points on? But we got that goal, OG in the end, and you know what, it doesn't really matter as long as you won the game. But it's a big week for them in terms of the cups. They've got a big game in the Siro now on Thursday. And if you looked at that game last week, I know United would have been favourites going into this tie, but on the performance last week, AC Milan were probably the better team. So
they were.
Do you think AC Milan are the new favourites for this tie? Do you think it's United have it all to do out there?
I think they definitely play better in this in the first leg. We're very lucky to get a 1-each draw. But I was listening to Solskjaer there after the West Ham match, and he says that possibly Cavani, Van der Beek, Pogba, Martial, I think all the big guns are back now for a thing. If all them players are back, I would fancy us, but I think for like creativity, Fred McTominay's good for like energy and all, but we need more creativity in the midfield. And your man Kessie,
the fact that they left on Sunday in the FA Cup, he's going to have to rotate that score. Which game is the more important game for you? Thursday or Sunday?
Well, like, we're definitely going to have Champions League football, like, so. I would say anyway. So maybe the FA Cup game could be more. But I think genuinely, Ollie just wants to win everything. Like, I think he'll definitely be putting out two strong teams no matter what, Thursday and Sunday. If you're asking me,
do you think he can go with the same team twice, like what he believes his strongest 11? Do you think he can do it 2 games in a row, only a short time between the games?
Because then it's an international break, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think he might just go full strength like in these next 2 matches. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in that Milan match, but I definitely think we're definitely going to be going through in the FA Cup. I think we're definitely going to put Leicester out because Barnes and Maddison's out as well, and they don't look the same team now. I know they beat Sheffield United 5-0, but I think that was.
I do agree. I do think it's a good opportunity for United to get through, but in the FA Cup, Neville said on Sunday, Gary Neville said that. He thinks that Ollie needs a trophy this season. He said he doesn't think second place will be enough. The convince United fans he's the right man to stay in charge. And Danny Bell's been on a commentary saying Ollie out. Now I know Danny very well. He's a bit of a flip-flop. When Mourinho was in charge, he was saying about Mourinho this, Mourinho that, and then as soon as it went bad, he got him out. But I can see why some fans are still on the fence with him. He does need this trophy this season, doesn't he, Zach?
You see, I'm a wee bit different. Like, I look at last season, so three semi-finals last season, and I think it was 66 points. We're definitely on course. They do have a better points tally this season, so to me that's progress.
Do you know what, Zach? As well, I understand what you're saying, right? But there's no real achievement for finishing second. Nobody remembers it, and nobody will go, that's success. Whereas if you finish third or fourth and won a cup, it'll be remembered more. I'm not saying they should completely ban off the league. But I think if they get to a stage with the last 4 or 5 games, and they're 10 or 12 points out of fourth, and they're still possibly, say, Chelsea or within 2 or 3 points of them, I don't think it matters to the fans. Where I don't think they'll be going, we need to finish second if they've got a big semi-final coming up. That's the one I'm thinking about. So where does the priorities lie for Ollie now? Moving on to the final pit, is it the cup or is it the league for you?
No, for me, obviously, I want to win trophies. Like obviously, you're based on your achievements at the end of the day. But like, I wouldn't say like people's like Gary Neville saying that we have like Ollie has to win a trophy this season. I don't think he has to win a trophy this season. I think like next season is 100% trophy needed. I think next season you definitely need a trophy. But this season, for me, it is just literally progressing from last season. And obviously, no one's going to remember it. But for me personally, I take it as progression. We're going in the right direction. If we get to another transfer window, see what's happening next season, and then challenge them for trophies. But don't get me wrong, Jesus, I'd love a trophy this season, but I wouldn't be absolutely devastated if we didn't win a trophy. I wouldn't be looking for Solskjaer out if we didn't win a trophy this season. Like, no chance.
You know what I think, Zach? Right? It is what we're saying. Kiara makes a good point here. He needs one more season. He gets the players he wants. He's going to need to get back in the summer. I think he's earned that back in. And I'm not saying he should be sacked if he's just finished second and won nothing else, because that'd still be a good season. But I'm saying I think that trophy gives him a bit more breathing space next year if he's have a bad start to the season, or basically next year, right, second place. You have to be going challenging for the title if he doesn't want a trophy. I think if he finishes second and wins a trophy, it changes it releases the pressure, and I still think he'll get through next year. Even if they finish third and win another trophy, it'll be another good season still. I don't think there's an expectation from United fans he has to win the league. But if he doesn't perform in the cups, United fans are going to want the league. I think that's the one. You think back to Pochettino with Spurs, they finished second or third, but they didn't win trophies. And I think if he won that trophy, it does represent a bit more success, and it does ease pressure. Every time Spurs got their semi-final or final, it was Pochettino hasn't won something. And the same way, if they don't win a trophy this year, I think if they won that trophy this year, it does release the pressure. And I still think as well, if they do win, it'll give that players a boost of the mentality. The fact they went and won a trophy, they've got through a big semi-final or a final. Because let's be honest, they won the FA Cup. They're probably going to have to beat Man City or Chelsea. They won it in the final. They might meet them in the next round. Who knows? But they'll probably have to beat one of them. They won it. As well as getting past Leicester. If they get past AC Milan in the last 16, now they're probably going to have to beat Spurs or Arsenal. They won it. I think one of them at least. So there's going to be some difficult games in there. They're not easy trophies they won. A lot of people say about Spurs, no trophy for 13 years. And it is a disgrace, to be honest. But it's not easy. It's rare you get a cup campaign when you don't meet a top side. So that'll be the challenge for him. Thursday. Do you think Thursday's bigger than Sunday, or do you think Sunday's bigger than?
I think Sunday's bigger. No, I genuinely I think we do. I think we can. If we get them players back now for Thursday, I think we can go through. I think we definitely can. One Thursday, one Sunday. And we're hard to beat, so we are at the minute. We're teams ain't beating us, but we're not playing that well. But
Zach, worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, you go out on Thursday, you go out on Sunday. What kind of pressure does that add, Ollie?
No, you see that there's if you go out of 2 in 1 week, that'd definitely be pressure. But I don't think it'll be the pressure people think it'll be. I think then it'll just be
let's get him sacked. I just think it almost the season's over in a way, because you think top 4's in the bag. And then the last 9 games.
There's nothing they play for. It'll be shite. It would be honest. They go out of both competitions now, and I would be absolutely devastated if we went to both competitions, because I would love they won the FA Cup or the Europa League this year. Definitely, I would love they won it. But I'm not all out if we don't win anything. That's what I'm saying.
No, I get you 100%. I would be the same. If I was a United fan, but I just think that trophy it takes United to a new level. Especially if it's a European trophy. If you've won the Europa League, it takes somebody a new level, and it gives Ollie that pedigree. They move on, and the questions stop. I think the question then becomes, can Ollie win the league? I think a lot of Liverpool fans have been saying, keep Ollie in charge. They're not going to win anything. I think if they won an FA Cup or won Europa League, it almost becomes there's a bit more of a fear factor, and then it's just can he win the league? Well,
for me too.
If Ollie was to leave next year, say at the end of next season, and he's won an FA Cup or Europa League, and he's had top 4 finishes, I think his reign becomes a success, and United only change it. They get back the top, whereas he's come on and done his job. Whereas I think if almost like they Pochettino, it was a sad ending. They didn't win anything. I think it was the same. That there's so much potential in the team that if he didn't win, it would be a sad ending. Do you know what I mean?
You see with me too, but the way it is, I'm just I know a lot of people is all out, and I'm not all out. But the reason I'm not all out is because it's for me, it's like a legend of the club. Taking us hopefully back to the top. Great
question. He says Mourinho won trophies and still gets sacked. Would you say that the difference between Mourinho and Ollie is you say he's a club legend, the fans love him, and the fact that he's implemented a style of play that's a lot more enjoyable to watch, and that he hasn't spent loads and loads of money. I know he spent money on Maguire, but he hasn't spent the money Mourinho did. One trophies, they wouldn't be sacked. You know what I mean?
But he's building he's building for the future of the club. Mourinho's a now and then manager. Mourinho's only going to be there 2 or 3 seasons, get in, get the success, and get out. But Solskjaer once they stay at United and build for they dominate. Do you know what I mean? I think if he is back this summer, you get if we get Haaland in, I think we just won the league hands down. I genuinely do. Haaland's that good. I think if he goes to Man City will dominate football for the next 10 years. I think United will throw all their eggs in. They want baskets, they bring them, because I heard a few rumours and hopefully I'd love to
What do
see
you think
him.
about Danny's comment here? He's a United fan as well, by the way. Awful record in semi-finals. Struggled to get to the group stage. Was difficult, but still not good enough. He's been back in the transfer market and still hasn't delivered. What would you say to
Back in the transfer, we look at the players he's brought on. Like Bruno Fernandes has been a revelation. Like he's been absolutely outstanding. Wan-Bissaka, maybe going forward is not as good, but defensively he's probably one of the best right backs in the league. Dan James, he's only 15 million, so if he's good or not good, like it's not like a big fucking waste. Maguire was the only one we might have overpaid for, but at the end of the day, people's always compare Maguire to Van Dijk, and he's not on Van Dijk's level. Like Van Dijk's a one-off centre half where he's like the best in the world, but people are comparing Maguire to Van Dijk. Maguire's still a good centre half, and the thing he says here about semi-finals and struggles to get the thingy. That's what I'm saying. He's only in the fucking league a year and a half. He's went from a team that were 7th to nearly getting in the top 4. He got into the top 4 last year and 3rd. This year he's on course to do a better season again. So hopefully this season we can go up one step further, maybe win a trophy, secure top 4, and then next year then compete again. Like I wouldn't say he hasn't delivered. Like I wouldn't say he hasn't delivered. Like
the one thing I would say that I would agree with Danny on is the semi-final record. If they lose another cup game or even 2, there's going to be serious questions that we can deliver this season. Do you know there will be that question mark?
Can I just ask a question? But like, if we had just say Guardiola or Klopp, would you believe that United would win the title with their managers? Like, do you think we're that good that we have a good enough squad? They won them things. Like that's what I'm saying.
Like, as well was just on the last part of the comment. I don't think he's been back as much as what people think, because there's a comment here from Charles.
No, sure.
He didn't want Van de Beek. He didn't get Sancho. So I don't think he's been back. He was given Cavani in the summer. I don't think he wanted Cavani. I think he wanted someone else. So I do think he has been backed, but not fully backed the way Mourinho wasn't. Question from Emmett here says, was Mourinho a success? Then they finished second and won the League Cup in Europa League. What would you say, Zach? Would you say it was still a successful, or do you think he was brought on to win the league?
No, I think Mourinho done well, but the fans wasn't liking the football, and then he's lost the dressing room. That's on Mourinho's hands if he loses the dressing room. Solskjaer hasn't lost the dressing room. Now, if Solskjaer was to lose the dressing room, then you could be like, no, it might be time to move on then, because if you don't have the players, you're not going to be able to. Like that's why Mourinho obviously couldn't go on to be more of a success, because he didn't have the dressing room. So how was it going to be more? What he done was success.
Yep. Great questions, lads. Great questions. Keep them coming on. I was going to say, hey, some fascinating debate. It's funny how some United fans think he's underachieving, and then some fans think he's doing really, really well. There is a bit of a divide there. I think that, as I said, that semi-final record will still worry fans if they can't win a trophy this year. Even getting to a final, I think, would help. I know it's not winning it, but it's getting past that semi-final block.
Well, fans are getting that. Fans are getting that butter now. There's a divide in the fan base. They're getting that butter now that when we're going in the games, they're nearly wanting Solskjaer to lose to get him out. Like you support Manchester United. Why do you not want to win football games like and win trophies? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's funny how it can work. I think there is some fans who just feel maybe he's took him as far as he can, and there's other fans that want to believe in. For me, I still think he should be given time. I think, people are on about Arteta getting time, and maybe he should. But Solskjaer's got a lot more. I know he hasn't won a trophy yet, but Solskjaer's league progress, and I look at the league as well as progress. I know we've talked about it. You do need one as well, but the league is a better indication of how close you are. United are as close as they've been for a long time now. I even think they're closer now than they were under Mourinho that year. I know City got 100 points, and City might get 90 points this year again, roughly. I still think United are in a better position now because they've got a manager that has a style of play and identity. And they've got world-class play. Fernandes is a world-class player. If they can find one more, Pogba still taking back, and if they can find another world-class player, it might change an outlook for them. But Kjard says here, Klopp failed in many finals before he won one, and that's right. He did lose. I think he lost 3 finals before he won that Champions League one. So again, that's one of them ones. Dean Kennedy here, Liverpool fan, seen Ole Gunnar Solskjaer supposed to be close to getting a new contract as it deserved. Apart from Bruno Fernandes, has a sign of success. United are at the minute are semi-finalists and falling at the last hurdle. 3 years without a trophy, Zach. Great comment, Dean. Thanks for that. What would you say to that, Zach?
No, he's on there just to fucking stir things up, didn't he? You know what things like. But 3 years without a trophy, like is this only his second full season? So like this is only really his second full season. Bruno Fernandes.
There is some United fans, and then all rival fans are just actually get him out. They just want to see him sacked.
I don't know. I must be a bit of fear from Dean, like, because he knows like it is a dream scenario. Like if Solskjaer was to go one Sunday, they'll be all eating their words because they're like keep him on, and then if he does one Sunday, then they'll be like fuck. No.
Definitely, no. It's funny how it changes. You know, a lot of Liverpool fans were saying keep him in charge for as long as possible. They won nothing.
Dean couldn't wait to get that back on there. Hey, that was
Deggy straight on, keep him on. He doesn't fear Ollie. He doesn't fear Ollie at all.
You'll see.
Yeah, anyone say that comment to Deggy?
Deggy, them boys are just on the poke.
Funny, good stuff. Right, we're going to United. We talked about United and Leicester. Do you think Leicester as well? Talk about top 4, top 6 here. Do you think Leicester stiff as well? They're only 1 point behind United. Do you think Leicester stiff enough?
Nah.
So you think it's now one? You think it's now one place everyone's fighting for?
No, I even think 4. And even at that too, you can see Chelsea dropping out.
We'll go through it here, right? Chelsea, I think they're on 51 points. Let me see a second. Chelsea are on 51 points, right? And they've played 29 games. West Ham are on 48 points. They've played a game less. Liverpool are on 46 points, playing 29. Everton 46, played a game less, and Spurs game less 45. Villa 41, but they've played 2 games less. Arsenal played a game less than 41. So, you think Chelsea are? I think a lot of teams now, right, are down their last chance zone. I think Liverpool's won last night gives them a glimmer. I think if they hadn't won last night, they'd have been too far behind. They're still 5 points behind Chelsea, which is going to be difficult because Chelsea are going to have to lose 2 games out of the last 9. And I looked at their running today. It's not that hard. I think their next 5 games are all winnable. The last 3 or 4 are difficult. They're not the most difficult games, but they're tricky. And you know, I think they're going to be looking at the European Cup as well, so that could come on late. Kjard saying he thinks Leicester could still be caught. It depends on how long Maddison and Barnes are injured. Definitely. You look at the last couple of games. I know they beat Brighton 2-1. They needed a late goal. They won that. The Sheffield United game, they were expected they won that anyway. It'll be a test. You know, over the next 9 games, if they can keep it up. Their last 3 games, I think, are United, Chelsea, and Spurs. That'll be a test. You know, if it got to the end, they'll want to have a good cushion going on that. Do you think Liverpool are still in a chance? Do you think it's too soon to write them off? 5 points. They're probably going to have to win every game.
They have no chance.
No chance.
No, I'm not. Like I'm not just trying to stir things up, but
who would have thought that, Zach? Eh?
Who
would have thought that? Who would have thought that at the start of the season? Who would have thought that at the start of the season? Liverpool wouldn't have got top 4.
Know what I mean?
You didn't say that. Like, you didn't say that, did you?
I did. No, but like the way I see it is it's not even Chelsea. Like Liverpool catching them is 5 points. I can't see Liverpool winning every game the end of the season. Like,
West Ham 3 points behind Chelsea. Their game in hand. Arsenal next week. Do you think West Ham can get them?
No.
Everton.
The top 4's a top 4 for me.
Really? You don't think Everton have a chance? They've got a game in hand. If they already won that, they'd be 2 behind Chelsea. Spurs, if they already won their game in hand against Villa next week, they'd be 3 behind Chelsea. You think no chance?
No, I do genuinely think that is.
I do think Chelsea are going to get on. I think for all these teams that are chasing them, they're all going to have they produce. They're going to have to win 8 of their last 9 games at least. Possibly you might have to win 9 because for Liverpool, for example, Chelsea are going to have to lose 2 games, and Chelsea are unbeaten under Tuchel in 12 games. So that makes it very difficult. You know, would you hang your hat on Liverpool? They won 9 games in a row? Probably not. They've got the ability to do it, no doubt about it. But whether they can do it the way they can play, and I don't think it. You know, even last night they looked cagey.
I thought Wolves looked better last night.
All night, Wolves could get a result, so that'll be the challenge. You know,
I think Liverpool's main focus is the Champions League. They play brilliant in the over 3 legs with Leipzig. I was shocked with Leipzig. I really thought Liverpool played brilliant. Like, and I'm not one to give compliments out to Liverpool, but I thought they were brilliant against
Leipzig.
Leipzig.
Well. Do you think a lot of teams will be put off Nagelsmann? You know, they look at the 5-0 against United and the 2 games against Liverpool.
That's what all like the United fans are saying. Get Solskjaer, I can get Nagelsmann, and I was like, sure, he could pump 5-0. Like, and although I do put most of the blame on Solskjaer for us going out of the Champions League, because I can't believe like that he went 5 at the back against them when we went out and played football against them. We destroyed them. So it was bizarre, but with Solskjaer, no, I wouldn't be going for Nagelsmann. He's too young yet, and I just what's the difference between him and Solskjaer? Like, what's the like? You know what I mean?
Well, Nagelsmann's got a fancy name, and everybody's raving about him in Germany. That's the difference, Zach. Again, I think he's very unproven. He's done well with Leipzig, no doubt about it.
They all think he's going to be next Klopp.
He's never managed in English football as well, which is an hour gamble. And then defensively, Leipzig in them 2 games could have been bit by 10 goals. You know, Liverpool must have easy chances.
Liverpool are brilliant.
Liverpool in the league, they've got harder games against teams like Wolves and Fulham and stuff. So the alarm bells were ringing for me in them games, especially in the United game that they were, was it 1-0 by 15 minutes to go, and they conceded 4 in the last 15 minutes. You know, that's massive, big warning signs for me. Champions League's back this week, Zach. Starts tonight. I think Man City played Borussia Mönchengladbach. How do you see that go?
Tie over.
Real Madrid against Atlanta. Madrid are 1-0 up from the first leg. You think Atlanta are still made a chance here?
I do.
What do you think?
I do, yeah. I don't think Real Madrid in the same side they were years ago. I think they're definitely made a chance at Atlanta. On their day, Atlanta can beat anybody, I think.
So you fancy Atlanta to go free?
I'm going to say Atlanta to go free, yeah.
All right. And then the morning, Bayern Munich against Lazio, 2-0 up from the first leg, tie over.
Game over.
Game over.
Was it not 4-1?
That's a 4-1. No, that's 4-1. I thought it was 2-0. It's 4-1. That is, you're right, 4-1. Man City's 2-0. Man City 2-0. Chelsea, Atletico Madrid. Chelsea are 1-0 up from the first leg. Home tie. Do you think they'll get through?
Oh, that'll be tight too.
Atletico are going to have to come out and play, but Atletico are going to have to come out and play, and I'm not sure that that's going to suit them.
I think it'll be a 0-0 draw. I think Chelsea will go free.
Chelsea go free. So that would leave Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Man City, Atlanta. Who else have we got? Liverpool, Porto, Dortmund, and PSG. Who's the winner of the Champions League for you?
You see, like everybody was ranting and raving last year about Bayern Munich, know about how good they were, and then I was sort of saying I think it'll be different this season, but then they're proving me wrong. But I think Bayern's well strong. I think it'll be between Bayern and PSG. I don't think Man City. I think Man City just will bottle it. Like, but on paper, like I think they'll be the best team. But
so you think Man City are the best team? But the mentality they want it.
You know what, I'm gonna go PSG here, I think.
From what I've seen at PSG, I don't think they're good enough. I think if you look at the form since Poch has come in, they've not really had a bounce effect. I know that they got that big result at Barcelona. But they rocked Barca apart in the counter-attack, and in that second game, Messi scored that penalty in the first half. It's a different game. Barcelona could have scored 3 or 4. I think PSG defensively aren't good enough. I look at Bayern Munich and Man City as being better all-round teams.
Neymar knows to come back on too.
I think the question mark over Man City will obviously be the mentality, but from what I've seen them, I think they're better at coping with it now. I think Man City will win it. A lot of it has to do with draw, who teams play, of course. Do you know what? If Liverpool could draw Porto, and then maybe draw Real Madrid or Dortmund, and then they mightn't play Bayern Munich to a final. They mightn't play Bayern Munich to a final, or a Man City to a final. They'd have a chance. Decky's just on Liverpool. Just as I was saying there, Decky, I think Liverpool, for them, they want it, they'll have to get a good draw. I don't think they can.
They will get a good draw. They will.
I think if they were to get Man City or Bayern Munich over 2 legs, it would be very, very difficult for them. I think they're better all-round teams than them this year with injuries and stuff. You see what Man City did them at Anfield. I think if they've any chance of beating Man City or Bayern Munich, it'll be over 1 game in the final. You know, if they get Porto in the next round. No, if they get Porto in the next round, they've got every chance. You know, I think every chance.
Liverpool won the Champions League this year. I give up. I swear to God, I couldn't deal with it. I genuinely couldn't deal with it.
Do you know what? It'll help Liverpool if they were to draw Porto or draw an Atlanta, and then if Bayern Munich were to play Man City, they draw each other. All of a sudden, it opens it up. You know, if Man City were to get an easy draw, that will be the big thing. Liverpool, I even think Liverpool will only avoid Chelsea. I think Chelsea over 2 games will be stronger than Liverpool at the minute. You know, they're unbeaten under Tuchel, they're in better form. You seen that game in Anfield, Chelsea looked a much better drill team. Strange, you know, Klopp's been there so long, Tuchel's not been there. I think Liverpool really need a good draw. They go far. If they get to the final and it's a one-off game, of course they can win it because then players can turn up. And hey, Champions League final, they're going to turn up. Do you know what I mean? It will make it a really good tie. I just think this is Man City.
I think if Liverpool can manage, if they can manage somehow to get that final, Liverpool, I think they would want it again. And I don't know. I think by games are so short about Liverpool. They have that like no in the Champions League. They just seem to be able. They just won it. Like if they get that final, I think Liverpool won it. But I just hope they get Bayern or Man City in the next round. Like
I think Man City, they're never getting a better chance. They won it this year, and they're never getting a better chance to do that 4 trophies, in my opinion. But Emmett says PSG not good enough defensively. Beat the Ornate by 18 plus Nantes after being 1-0 up. If Liverpool draw, if Liverpool avoid City or Bayern, I'll be happy with the draw. I think a lot of Liverpool fans will be happy. That'll be the 2 teams they don't want to play at all. I think PSG's form in the French league's been terrible. You know, Barcelona aren't pulling up any trees, so no one really looked at that result. In fact, it had been a few years ago, people would have went, geez, a bit Barcelona. But Barcelona, of course, used to be. Austin says City have a decent chance this year with the league form. I agree. And then Decky says Bayern, the only team to avoid. Decky, seriously, you wouldn't want to play Man City over 2 games. Not a hope. Not a hope. I don't think he's good enough this year. Not if you look at the form since Christmas, I don't think over 2 legs.
But the one thing I'll give the Liverpool fans, like it's just showing about the Champions League. They're just unbelievable. They're unbelievable in the Champions League. They are. Like,
the fact there's no fans though, I know it sounds mad, but it's a disadvantage for Liverpool. It is.
They are. They're gonna hate they say, but they get just even that year they won the Champions League too. I was just like, I think they're going to get Porto. I think they could go to the final. Liverpool. I think they could win it. I more think it. I was saying they're not going to win it, but on a one-off game, like they could beat Bayern Munich on a one-off game. Like
to the final, if they can avoid Bayern and Man City, they've got a big chance.
As you say, over 2 legs, I don't think they beat Bayern and Man City, but if they can get a final, Liverpool have every chance of winning that. Like, and I would be absolutely gullified. I'd be devastated. I genuinely would be. I'd ruin my full season.
If they want it, I think Klopp. You might see Klopp step down. He might think that's it. They might not get much better than that. 2 Champions Leagues, the Premier League. You could see him step down. You might think that's it. That'll be interesting. As you say, Champions League's a funny competition. Sometimes the best team doesn't always win it. Can be the draw and stuff. That we're actually going to any of these Liverpool fans want to join me next Friday. We're going to do a live stream for the Champions League draw. We're going to
bring Decky in and see what he has to say. He always has something to say. Hey, bring Decky in.
Well, Decky, if you want to join me next Friday, 11 o'clock, we'll do a live stream for the Champions League draw. We'll do Europa League draw after as well, Zach. Man City, the favourites for me at the minute. Depends on the draw for Liverpool. I agree, Dean, 100%. Liverpool, as we said, they'll not want to play Man City. I actually think Liverpool would rather play Bayern over 2 games than Man City. I just think Man City, you look at their all-round team, the way they're playing. I know United beat them, but I think they've got so much firepower against that Liverpool backline at the minute. It would be too much for them. But the funny thing is, Liverpool do have that tie with the Champions League, and they do tend they have a draw rate. You know, I don't know what it is, but you know,
Thiago was looking like a prime De Bruyne there against Leipzig, and he's been awful in the Premier League. Like, it's just
bad last night. It was bad last night, and then another thing too. You know, a lot of teams are still not wanting to play Liverpool. You know, I know they're not playing well, but the Champions League factor, they'll not want to play them. You know, don't get me wrong. If Man City get them, they'll still fancy it, but they'll probably want to avoid them as well. Do you know what I mean? You know, they would be happy to see Bayern play Liverpool and, you know, one end get knocked out. Man City have a great record of draws on their pep. They do tend to, I don't know what it is, but they do tend to get FA Cups, League Cups, even the Champions League draw against Gladbach. You think last year they got Lyon and they messed up Lyon, but they do tend to get favourable draws. I think contrast, I know Liverpool, the year they got to the final, the Real Madrid, they had a bit of an easy draw, but that year they won it, they had a difficult draw. Last year they got Athletic Madrid. If you look at the cup competitions on their club, they've had very bad luck with draws. You know, League Cup, FA Cup. You know, so wonder will this be the season they get a bit of a break? If they can get Porto, you'd fancy them. They've had Porto, and then if they get the semi-final, you just never know. It gets close.
They've already chunned Porto in the group stages. So if they get Porto, I wouldn't. So I can't see Porto doing anything like Juventus. I don't think Juventus are a great side. Like.
Thursday, Jack, Europa League. Arsenal against Olympiacos. Arsenal 3-1 up from the first leg. Home tie as this game over.
Tie over.
Dinamo Zagreb against Spurs, and this is absolutely bizarre story that the Zagreb manager is going to jail. He's been given a 5-year prison sentence, and he's been relieved of his role effective immediately, so he'll not be in charge for the game. I have never seen anything like this. So I can only imagine that Zagreb's in absolute turmoil at the minute. Spurs are 2-0 from the first game. Do you think this is tie over?
Game over.
AC Milan against Manchester United. Probably the most eye-catching tie going on Thursday. The fact it's 1-1 from the first leg. Zach, have United got a role to do here? If they got a role to do?
You see,
I think Zach, we're going to be in for a long night. I think we actually could be in for a long night. I'm actually going to say 1 each after full time, and it's going to come down to extra time penalties. And I'm just
see, we were missing Rashford. We were missing Rashford.
I think this is going to be the moment for Fernandes. You know, if he can get the winning goal in this tie. You know, he's been accused of not doing it about games. If he can get them get them through this tie, that could be the big one. I'm going to go for 2. I'm going to go 1 United after extra time.
I'm going to say now, if we beat AC Milan, I think we'll win the whole competition. Watching that North London derby on Sunday, I was like, when United suffered on their day, I think we're too strong for Spurs and Arsenal. I think United will go away.
So what's your score prediction for Thursday?
I'll go 3-1 United.
3-1 United.
I'll go positive. I'll go positive.
Rangers against Slavia Prague. Rangers got a great draw away in Prague. Now Leicester got a draw out there and then lost the home game. So this tie is far from over. But Rangers have been strong at home, and do you know what? Hey, see, when you're winning games, it can be a big momentum charge that the Rangers probably believe they can beat anybody at the minute. You know, and if they won this, would they be dark horses? Could you think? I know it might seem beyond the realms of possibility, but do you think they'll believe that they can win it?
I'd love to get Rangers. I would love to get Rangers, I swear to God. But I think Slavia Prague's going to put them out on Thursday. Slavia
Prague, they won. I'm going to go for, you know what? I just think Rangers are on a feel-good moment. They're going to win it 1-0, and Rangers are going to get through. United will beat AC Milan with the players they have coming back. Watched AC Milan against Napoli on Sunday night, and they were awful in an hour.
They let me down for a fucking bet too, AC Milan on Sunday. Though. Oh, I was fuming. Hey. Oh, they beat me for a bet on Sunday. I was raging. Napoli, they played awful. So hopefully, United can bring it now on Thursday. Like.
So judging by that, right, we'll have Arsenal, Spurs, United. You think Prague, right? Villarreal are 2-0 up against Kiev, should be through. Ajax are 3 up against Young Boys, should be through. Roma are 3 up against Donetsk, should be through. And Granada are 2 up against Molde. So we're looking at Arsenal, Spurs, Granada, United, Roma, say Prague or Rangers, Villarreal, and Ajax. Who's the favourites, and who do you think will win the Europa League?
I think if we get past AC Milan, I think we'll win the tournament. But I think Ajax, I wouldn't want to get Ajax. They play great.
Did you play a Spurs or an Arsenal?
Then Ajax, definitely. Ajax play brilliant football. I don't know, they play brilliant football. I think Ajax they are brilliant on the eye as well.
I've got a bad feeling, you know, we haven't seen the back of Arsenal this year, you know. Well, it's a good Fenerbahce from last year. I have a wild feeling we're going to get them on the quarterfinal, you know. Just have a feeling it's going to be North London derby, and you know what?
I'll be massive in Europe. I'll be massive.
Big time. I have a wild feeling we're going to play Arsenal on Thursday, you know. Or we're going to find it on Friday. What's
over
that?
Over 2 legs, but I fancy Mourinho wearing it. And not even like Spurs, I just fancy Mourinho over 2 legs.
Be interesting. But hey, Zach, that probably you're saying Rangers. That probably take us down to the show. On for an hour. Fascinating debate. Great comments and all the people that are watching. Thanks very much. What have we got? Friday. Stay tuned. I'm going to be contacting a few of you boys. It won't be a full podcast, but we are looking at possibly getting 1 or 2 fans on for the Champions League draw on Friday. So it'll be a live stream, and we'll just as the teams come out, we'll have our say on the ties, and then we might have an idea who the favourites are. So just remember as well, for the 2 draws on Friday, we're also going to have the semi-final draw after. So you're going to have your pathway to the final. So again, it will be a bit more easier to predict. So hopefully get a few Liverpool fans on for that. And then we'll hopefully get maybe a United fan, an Arsenal fan to join myself at 12 o'clock on Friday to do the Europa League stream as well. And if any Rangers fans are out there and they fancy coming on as well, if they make a 3, that will be interesting as well. But after that, we're going to have Josh Boyle as well on Friday evening at some point. They go through all them draws in detail and look ahead to the big games of the weekend, the FA Cup and the Premier League before the international break. But Zach, thanks very much for coming on. Really enjoyed it. Everyone that's watching, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos. Zach, thanks very much now.
No bar, Gary. I hope everybody gets a few ponies up at 8 at the Cheltenham. Let's go. Hey.
This is not a gambling advert.